Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Inside Cape Cod. I'm Mina Greene. Today we have a very special Inside Cape Cod for you, actually two. First, we'll hear from Christina Wiseman from the Housing Authority about their fundraiser this weekend, Walk for Hope, followed by an interview with Norma Atwood, director of a very special group of young adults, the Esprit Theater Group. Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Inside Cape Cod. I am Mina Greene. This morning, I have a return guest with me. I have Christina Wiseman, and you are with Housing Assistance.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Not a problem. You've got some big doings going on.
We do. We have a very big event coming up on Sunday, May 19th. It's our 6th annual Walk for Hope, and it is happening in Falmouth, Hyannis, and Orleans, all at the same time. The walk kicks off at 1 o'clock in 3 locations here on the Cape. So we're really excited.
All right. And this is why I had to bring in the director of events so that we could straighten all of this out. No, you've got great locations. So when is the registration? Now, can they register in advance?
Yeah. So actually, the idea of our Walk for Hope is that it's really a peer-to-peer fundraiser. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those, I'm registering, I share it with all my friends and family, let them know that this is a cause that is really important to me. Yes. Housing on Cape Cod is tough and is important to all of us because we live here, right? Mm-hmm. We live in homes and we frequent local businesses, and we can talk a little bit more about some of that. But so folks are already registered. We have I think almost 150 people registered so far. We also have a lot of teams that are signing up. So groups of friends, businesses, several faith-based organizations, which is really fun. It's really fun to see. It's a really nice community event that brings people together around a cause that they care about.
Right.
So
and people from all walks of life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's
so yeah,
wonderful.
our website is up and running. It's hacwalkforhope.org. HAC, walkforhope.org, and you can get registered on there and then start fundraising. It's hosted on a platform called One Cause, which is really great. It makes it just very intuitive and easy. And we've worked to develop a lot of tools to help with fundraising. Those of us who work in the fundraising business, it kind of is a natural. We're always asking our friends for money, right?
Yeah, of course. It's tricks of the trade.
But for people who may want to participate but aren't quite as comfortable, we've developed a lot of tools and ready-made content that they can use.
Just making it simple.
Yes.
Well, that helps a lot, too, because some people don't have any idea how to raise. I mean, how am I going to get funds? How am I going to get money? I only have so much family, to hit up. So that's excellent. Excellent advice. And it's good that you've got that incorporated into this. Now, this year's supporters can help the Walk for Hope exceed your accomplishments, which included 528 walkers, including 52 teams, and 862 donations. And I can't even read how much money you raised already. $129,322 raised.
Yes, that was the walk in 2023.
Yes. So this year's event, you're getting even more ambitious, and you're going to introduce registration fees that will be treated as donations.
Yes.
Which I thought was wonderful and reflected in the walkers' fundraising pages. So there is a registration fee of $25 for adults 18 plus and youth 11 to 17. Participants can walk for hope. Children under 10 can participate for a reduced rate of $10. And all walkers are encouraged to raise funds for housing assistance. And you'll receive prizes, guys. That's right, for reaching different fundraising milestones. So it's really cool. And I think there's a trophy ceremony as well.
Yeah, so we have what we call a traveling trophy. It's right now, one of them at least, is sitting in our office. But for the top fundraiser each year, the top individual fundraiser, and then the top team. So we have a nice big trophy, and they can hold on to it or it can live with us. But a nice kind of incentive to foster a little friendly competition for the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it that it's for kids too.
Kids
everyone
can walk too. Is welcome. It's a really fun day. In Hyannis in particular, we are going to be sharing the Hyannis Village Green with Hyannis Open Streets, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that is nice.
They were so gracious. We have, in the past, the Hyannis Walk has been based out of our headquarters on West Main Street. Because, permits were already given for the Greene and Main Street. Completely understandable because they have a wonderful event. But this year when I approached them to inquire about the date of their event, they said, well, why don't we share the Greene? So it was really a generous and gracious approach that they took. And so it's going to be really fun. For Hyannis Open Streets, the Greene is their kids zone. And so we're also going to be on the Greene. We are going to have DJ Angel and JT Chronicles hyping up the crowd. We're going to have games from Cape Cod Game Guy, Giant Jenga and Connect 4 and things like that. And they, of course, Hyannis Open Streets brings their bounce houses and all kinds of
It's a lot of
things.
fun. Yeah, I have trouble getting Doug, my partner, out of the bouncy house.
Yeah. Well, I have a 5-year-old, so it's
Well, he might as well be 5 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, so that will kind of be our home base, and then we'll walk right down the middle of Main Street, kind of loop around South and North Streets. The maps of all of the walks are available on the website that I mentioned, hacwalkforhope.org. And that's not to say, I mean, the other locations as well. We have ice cream trucks coming and games and festivities and DJs and bands. And so it's a really feel-good day. We're not worried about anyone's pace or their time.
Right.
I know in Orleans in particular, there is also a run that morning. The Donkey Dash is happening.
Yes, it is for the Latham Centers.
Yeah. It's a couple hours before ours. So we've just been encouraging folks to take their run and then come over and do their walk, their cool down walk with us.
There you go.
It's great. 2 really great events happening
absolutely
in the community that day. Again, for wonderful causes that are important.
Very.
So
and it's nice that yours has been combined with the open streets as well. So it's a really nice thing.
Yeah, it's going to be we were talking about all the things happening that weekend. I think everyone, there's like that, get it in before Memorial Day, because that is like such a big marker in all of our calendars as Cape Codders. So there's a lot happening in our community that weekend, but all wonderful stuff. And we hope that people will join us for the Walk for Hope. I will say too, the registration is encouraged. We'll be ordering T-shirts for our walkers, but we are also open to walk-ins as well. So if someone that day, especially again in Hyannis, if they're walking by and decide that they want to participate, we can easily just get them up and running and
beautiful
and have them be part of the day.
So it is your 50th anniversary coming up. So tell me about that.
Yes, it's our 50th anniversary. So 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of Housing Assistance Corporation. The organization was founded in 1974, really just to bring rental vouchers to the Cape.
Right.
So it was a program that could manage the vouchers for folks who needed some extra support with housing. And 50 years later, we are doing a lot more than just that. That does still remain part of the work that we do and our mission. I mean, the mission really is to allow people to have safe, stable housing that isn't going to change all the time. They don't have to move around from a seasonal to a year-round and this and that, so that they can be productive members of our community, which is really what we all want to do, right?
Absolutely.
And we there is plenty of work to be had on the Cape. However, what we're seeing more and more, even at the highest levels of healthcare and education, they can recruit a doctor to Cape Cod Healthcare, but that person sometimes can't find a place to live that is affordable for them here on the Cape. So, so that is how the issue has evolved, and certainly since COVID, we have also seen additional changes. So the organization has evolved in that time to meet the needs and set up kind of some innovative programming that can support Cape Codders
and accommodate them.
Who want to live here, who want to stay here. We're seeing, it's really interesting, the demographics that we see. A lot of elderly folks are struggling to stay in place or to find, an affordable place that they can live. But we're also seeing younger folks who are, our CEO, Elisa Magnotta, talks about it all the time. She has 3 daughters who are like 2 are off in college, and they just don't see this as a possibility for them to come back and
home.
live on the Cape unless they want to live with their mom.
Yeah. Elisa's cool.
Elisa's cool.
But,
like she'd be fun to live with.
But you don't want to live with your mom.
Right. And there's like a certain rite of passage, right? When to become an adult and, be independent. But there just are not a lot of options that are affordable, and not just, we say big A affordable, but like attainable is a word that we've been using a lot more, because it's not just about kind of like government subsidies and things like that. It's really about like something that is attainable we have all kinds of facts and figures on how much you would need to make to afford the market rates right now for a rental, and it's just not attainable.
Well, during COVID, of course, a lot of people from the cities moved to the Cape because they wanted to get away from the COVID and the closeness of everybody. But now they've been selling a lot. They're trying to sell them now because they're nice and everything. But again, it's expensive to live here. Yeah. And if you don't live here year round, it's you have a house, you want to sell it. But during the pandemic, I saw a lot of people, which kind of freaked me out, in the Mashpee area, who they had those really big sheds. And they had people living in them. They turned them into little places, for family, I guess. And for the same thing, like a kid who came back from college and still wanted to be on the Cape or had a job offer. And, they had a lot of those. Now, I know those are illegal, unfortunately, but they're still around.
Yeah. And there is a legal way to go about it. Okay. So that's one of the solutions that we talk about a lot. It's called an accessory dwelling unit. And so it's there is, a legal process that you can go through to have approval for that type of unit, whether it's sort of like a freestanding or more of an in-law apartment. Right. But that has become a solution for a lot of people, whether it's, again, like thinking about the demographics, whether it's like an elderly parent or an adult child. So that is certainly a solution for some people. Of course, we want to go about it the legal way, not just kind of like be putting up sheds in our yards. Yeah. But that's just one of the many things. I've been at Housing Assistance since September, and I feel like I'm still learning every day about the things that we do. And we talk a lot about kind of like the pipeline from homelessness to home ownership. And we literally, we have staff who are out doing outreach to individuals who are chronically homeless and who may be out in our communities. And that is not just a Hyannis thing. We have teams in Falmouth. We have teams in Orleans.
It's dangerous.
It is. It's dangerous. And it's a really, really complicated issue, but our teams have the resources and the connections with other service providers in the community to try to help address the many issues that those individuals are facing. But then all the way up to we have 4 developments in the pipeline right now that are happening to develop units that are affordable.
That's great.
And there's varying levels for each. Some of them are market rate. Some of them are all affordable, like big A affordable housing. But what we have seen is really just a need to increase the housing stock on Cape Cod. There just are not enough places for all of the people who are here to live,
let alone those who want to come back.
Right.
So, actually, too, during COVID, especially in our neighborhood, at least within a 3-block radius of us, we had 4 or maybe 5 houses sold, and they were turned into Airbnbs. But now nobody's really doing the Airbnb anymore. First of all, you were doing it because of the pandemic. You wanted to get away, and it seemed reasonable, but the prices are just too high, and nobody wants to do it now. It's just a shame. And unfortunately, because a lot of these people around our neighborhood, when they purchased it, didn't realize, they thought, we can get beach rights because we're buying a house there. But you can't turn over the pass to a new family every week. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they didn't really look into it before they didn't really think it through. And I don't blame them. The association beaches are small, they're small around the pond, and they're kept very clean and very nice, and to have different people every time.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing that we talk a lot about. Housing is, of course, in the news almost every day, whether it's here on the Cape, in Boston, at a national level.
Right.
Housing is a really complicated issue in our country, but here on the Cape, we see that there are just so many compounding effects given the seasonal nature of our economy and being sort of a vacation destination. There are just so many added layers of complication to our housing issues that we're facing. How many closed signs are you seeing on businesses? How many days is your favorite restaurant needing that used to be open 7 days has to close because, I mean, they had never been closed any days of the week in the summertime. They had to be closed because of the staffing. And a lot of that, again, is year-round folks who can't find a place to stay. Yeah.
Well, that's why we're having fundraisers, right? Yes. So let's just get back really quickly to your wonderful event, which is coming up on the 19th, May 19th, and it's 3 walks. We have Falmouth, Hyannis, and Orleans. I hope you don't have any particular order. I just throw those 3 out.
No, that's kind of the order we say it in because it's geographical.
There you go. There you go. And there's still time to register.
Yes.
And how can they do that?
So our website is up and running. It's hacwalkforhope.org. Really simple registration. You can choose to walk as an individual, choose to join a team or start a team and get registered, start fundraising.
Fantastic.
You did mention the registration fee counting as a donation.
That's right. This year it's counting as a donation.
Yes. So that's something new. We had not had registration fees in the past, but there is obviously a cost to put on an event of this magnitude. And we want to have a lot of fun. We want to have a wonderful day, but we also have to keep the bottom line in mind to a certain extent. So that's going right onto a fundraiser's page. So when it registers, it shows they've already raised $25. So the momentum is there and let's keep going and help support a cause that they really care about. And that's what we find in the peer-to-peer fundraising is whether or not it's a cause that is top of mind for friends and family, when they hear that it's important to that person who they care about, they support even more.
Yes. Christine Wiseman, you are just a joy to have in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. I think this is a fantastic event. I think this is a fantastic organization. I mean, it's a win-win. It just benefits everybody. Thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and letting everyone know about it and that they can get in on this. Still have time, people. Still have time. So thank you again, Christina, and all of your volunteers and everyone who's working with you on this walk. And I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Mina.
You're welcome. I've been speaking with Christina Wiseman, and she is the events director of Housing Assistance.